Hello friends, and welcome to a brand new camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE against the S24 Ultra. Right now, we are recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. Tell me in the comment section below which one do you think has better colors and which one has a better audio.
As is standard practice on our channel, let's start by showcasing a series of sample images captured with their main cameras. Before diving into the comparisons, I'd like to briefly explain our testing process for any new viewers. All daylight pictures were taken in auto mode, with no edits applied afterwards. Scene Optimizer was enabled on both phones, as I believe this is how the majority of Samsung users typically take their pictures. Although the two devices generally follow a similar image processing style, there are some notable differences worth highlighting, so let me break them down. The first detail that caught my attention was the rendering of the sky. On the Galaxy S24 FE, the clouds appear somewhat flat, lacking depth, while on the S24 Ultra, they look more dynamic and livelier. From my perspective, the colors on the S24 Ultra appear slightly more vibrant and punchy compared to those on the S24 FE. However, for the most part, both devices produce results that are strikingly similar, with these color differences being relatively minor in practice. In some cases, like the one shown here, I couldn't detect any differences at all. Both phones captured sharp images, featuring Samsung's signature vivid colors that many of us have grown to appreciate over the years. Interestingly, in certain samples, the S24 FE actually performed better when it came to handling darker areas. For instance, in this particular shot, the trees are noticeably more visible on the FE. On the other hand, the S24 Ultra once again showed its strength by delivering superior detail in the clouds. We see a similar story when comparing their ultra-wide cameras. The S24 FE produces slightly brighter images with a warmer color tone, while the S24 Ultra leans towards a darker image, but with more vivid colors. Once again, the sky in the Ultra's shots stands out as more detailed and dynamic. Despite this, the S24 FE continues to deliver excellent results, matching the S24 Ultra in many scenarios, which is impressive considering the FE uses an Exynos processor and comes at a significantly lower price point than its premium sibling. Compared to their main cameras, now the S24 Ultra is doing better with darker areas, like in this sample where the greenery on the right picture is a bit more visible. While the difference isn't substantial, it's these subtle details that help distinguish the devices in an era where most phones capture outstanding photos, making each phone's strengths slightly unique. Samsung devices have always been amazing in cases where the sun is in the frame, and these two are no different. Both the S24 FE and S24 Ultra do an excellent job of retaining the original colors of the sky and grass in such scenarios. The more expensive S24 Ultra shows slightly more lens flare than the FE, which was a bit surprising. Overall, I would say that both ultra-wide lenses are highly capable. While the S24 Ultra might have a slight edge in a few samples, for the most part, the two perform nearly identically. You won't feel like you're compromising with the S24 FE, as it holds its own incredibly well in comparison to its higher-end counterpart. Both devices can zoom in at 2x without losing any detail. They both maintain the same colors as their other lenses. However, one noticeable difference is how they handle the zoom. While the S24 FE appears slightly over-sharpened, the S24 Ultra produces a smoother result. At 3x, both phones switch to their telephoto sensors and continue to deliver great quality. The Ultra displays a slightly warmer color tone, but in terms of details, they are nearly identical. At 5x, the Ultra switches to its periscope lens, while the FE uses digital zoom from its 3x camera. Unexpectedly, the FE still holds up quite well in terms of detail. The only real difference, as seen earlier, is in the color tone. In this other sample, just like earlier at 2x, both devices produce strong results with vibrant colors and plenty of detail. At 3x, there's a more noticeable difference in color tone, but both phones remain very sharp. I personally prefer the Ultra, but the FE isn't bad either. At 5x, the Ultra is a bit sharper, but the FE continues to impress and doesn't feel inferior at all. Honestly, I didn't expect the two to look this similar. At 10x, both phones lose some detail, with the S24 FE taking a bigger hit. However, I'd say the FE's zoom capabilities are excellent, especially considering it lacks Samsung's top 3x sensor. Portraits taken with the main cameras are fantastic. The S24 Ultra gave my face a warmer tone and slightly more accurate color reproduction, but even the S24 FE did an excellent job. Both phones captured an impressive level of detail in my face and hair. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, a sub to the channel would be greatly appreciated. Both phones also have the ability to take portraits using their telephoto cameras, and just like with the main cameras, the results are really good. The S24 Ultra handles my skin tone a bit more naturally, but the difference in overall quality is minimal. Edge detection around my hair isn't perfect on either device. The S24 Ultra can also take portraits at 5x zoom, and at this range, the results are simply stunning. To capture portraits at 5x, you'll need to take a few steps back, but the quality achieved is unmatched by other sensors. In fact, portraits taken at 5x with the S24 Ultra rank among the best in the industry. In some cases, I feel like the S24 FE struggles slightly more with handling lights compared to the Ultra, but these instances are rare. For the most part, the portraits from both devices are very similar, offering great performance overall. The similarities between these devices continue even with their front cameras. Both phones capture fine details in my face, and even individual strands of my hair remain sharp and in focus. While the S24 Ultra delivers slightly more accurate colors, the difference between the two is minimal, once again showing how closely they perform. Samsung phones are known for their consistency in handling skin tones, and these two models are no exception. The next set of pictures looks nearly identical to the previous ones, further proving how reliable they are in this aspect. Additionally, both devices are among the best when it comes to maintaining excellent dynamic range, ensuring balanced exposure across various lighting conditions. Videos recorded with their main cameras are strikingly similar. Both offer excellent stabilization, superb dynamic range, and vibrant colors. Samsung's flagship phones are known for recording some of the best videos in the Android world, with iPhones being the only real competitors that surpass them. I can confidently rely on these devices in almost any situation. With their ultra-wide cameras, I immediately noticed that the sky appears overexposed on the S24 Ultra, while the S24 FE performs better in this regard. Although this isn't a significant issue, the difference is noticeable, and instances where the more affordable device outperforms the flagship are quite rare. Aside from this, the color reproduction on both devices remains consistent and largely the same. Even at 3x, the two devices continue to show nearly identical detail levels. But, similar to what we've seen with pictures, the S24 Ultra tends to be a bit more saturated in its colors. In this instance, I find myself preferring the more expensive device, but I must highlight that the more affordable S24 FE is almost just as good. Shifting to low light, and from now on pictures are taken with night mode enabled and set to auto seconds. In this scenario, the S24 Ultra was able to retain more of my facial details, with my hair appearing sharper as well. On the S24 FE, some details have been lost, resulting in a messier appearance for my hair. The S24 Ultra continues to outperform in the next scene, maintaining the same level of detail as observed previously. While the S24 FE holds its own and delivers really good results, in my opinion, the Ultra simply looks better overall. With their main cameras, both devices continue to impress. There are subtle differences in detail, with the S24 Ultra appearing a bit over-sharpened, while the S24 FE is slightly smoother. Still, for the most part, they are almost indistinguishable from each other. There were some samples where I noticed significant differences in color tone. The S24 FE has a pink hue that I'm not particularly fond of, while the S24 Ultra delivers a much more natural representation. This scene was nearly pitch black in real life, so credit goes to both devices for making everything visible. Just like in daylight, even at night, there were instances where I couldn't identify any differences, with both devices performing great and capturing plenty of detail. Samsung's night mode is among the best available and is my personal favorite, so it's no surprise that I appreciate both devices. In certain samples, the S24 Ultra appears more contrasty and tends to catch the eye, as seen here. Nevertheless, the S24 FE is also quite impressive on its own, even though it doesn't quite match the Ultra's performance. With the ultra-wide cameras, the differences are much smaller now, as both phones continue to impress with their performance. Notably, the orange flowers appear more saturated on the S24 FE, which is a shift from previous cases. The S24 Ultra is recognized for having one of the best and most reliable ultra-wide cameras available on any smartphone, and it's fantastic to see that even the more affordable S24 FE is just as capable. While the FE may not match the S24 Ultra in every situation, it comes remarkably close in most cases. For instance, it still has a different color tone, but I believe this can be addressed with a software update, especially since the device has just launched. If you prefer Samsung's approach to brightening night images, you can't go wrong with either device. Still, I would argue that both phones perfectly retain the essence of the night scenery. When zooming in at 2x, we can see a noticeable difference in detail, with the S24 Ultra appearing sharp while the S24 FE is slightly softer in comparison. The sky, although barely in the frame, looks much brighter on the FE, but this brightness can come off as somewhat unnatural. At 3x, both devices switch to their telephoto sensors, and as noted earlier, the S24 Ultra is a bit sharper. However, the difference at this level is now minimal. They also vary in color tone, with the S24 Ultra displaying significantly more saturation. Moving to 5x, the S24 Ultra clearly stands out as much sharper, thanks to its dedicated periscope lens, while the S24 FE begins to lose some detail. Nonetheless, I would still consider its picture to be acceptable for general use. When we zoom all the way to 10x, it becomes evident that the S24 Ultra is much sharper, while the FE appears noticeably softer. It's clear that the S24 Ultra is the winner in this scenario. In another instance at 3x, both images are very detailed, but they suffer from light reflections. The FE appears a bit brighter, but the Ultra presents a more pleasing overall result. At 5x, the difference in brightness is significant. The S24 FE is considerably brighter, but its picture continues to be affected by reflections, resulting in many lost details. The Ultra, while darker, is much sharper and clearer. At 10x, as expected, the S24 Ultra maintains its sharpness advantage, although the S24 FE surprisingly doesn't look that bad either. When it comes to portraits, both devices continue to impress. My facial details have been well preserved on both phones, with the lighting accurately captured and the background blur appearing very natural. In this particular sample, I honestly couldn't pick a clear winner. In some instances, the S24 Ultra applies an over-sharpening effect to my face, making it look less natural compared to the S24 FE. While this issue doesn't occur in every portrait shot, it is frustrating to see it happen with Samsung's flagship model. So, what do you think? Personally, I am quite impressed with the camera performance of the S24 FE. The fact that it matches the more expensive Ultra in many scenarios makes it a fantastic phone overall. The S24 Ultra still has the edge when it comes to zoom capabilities, but in other categories, they are nearly neck and neck. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to let us know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.